Tom and Ben Curry, welcome to Will Greenwood's podcast. Now, normally we don't have name supers on our four-way boxes here because it's pretty obvious who everyone is. But actually, we probably didn't need them because, Tom, you've got a lovely floppy hairdo going on there. And
Thank
Ben,
you.
you've gone for the crew cut. So easily distinguishable.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. It's even more distinguishable if he gives you a turn and shows the mullet at the back.
Yeah, let's have a look at the mullet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the only reason Tom wants me to show it is because he did it.
Nice.
Nice bit of
you haven't watched me. Haven't watched me. You haven't seen my haircut. I've been modelling my haircut on the people we've had on the podcast recently. So I had to change according to who we had on. But today I wasn't sure what was going on. So Tom Curry looks like Will Greenwood circa 1993, when my nickname was Shaggy with my, like from Scooby-Doo, with my curtains, and Ben was much later on. It's good trim, fellas. And I wanted to dive in because straight away we were having a laugh, and I think it's necessary. I think people need to hear what the Curry boys have for breakfast every day, for how many years, for how much. So if you want to play for England, kids, if you're watching this at home or you're listening on your walk and you think, I want to be as good as the Curry boys, every breakfast you've got to have what, Ben? Talk us through what Dad makes.
Two phase, been mixing up recently. So the basis of it is 6 eggs each. So if Tom was home, it'd be 12. But this morning I'm at home, so it's 6 eggs. I think a banana. You can just get your berries, and he's been trying different fruits. So I think he tried melon, which didn't really work out. It made it a bit watery, but avocado's good shout for it. And then just get loads of berries in it. And I think it must be like a pint of milk.
And has he worked out? I mean, just tell me, 1 egg is how many grams of protein? Do you know?
6.
It's
6.
around 5, 6.
So 6 eggs. You get 6 eggs, 36 grams of protein, and you're getting some natural sugars from the fruit. Is he throwing anything in like Nutella or pepper nut or just a little sweetener, or is that just
that's cheating? That's
away
cheating.
from non-essential fats?
No, you want to taste the egg. You don't want to mash the egg taste. No, you just chucks avocado in it. You got to make sure you can taste the egg.
And what year did this start, boys? When did you start juicing up?
Oh, you can't. No, it's weird. We came down one morning. I think we were 13, and came down one morning, and our dad obviously had a massive grin on his face and 2 cups, and he was like, "Lads, try this. I've made it." And we were like, "Okay, thank you." Obviously, first of all. And then he was like, "What's the special ingredient?" And we were just saying, like, we could taste banana, we could taste berries, blueberries. He's like, no, like 12 eggs as 13-year-olds. And we were just like,
I've got a 13-year-old. I have a 13-year-old. I couldn't imagine giving him how many eggs at that age. I mean, that's just extraordinary. Is that what you have to do these days if you want to become a pro rugby player? You've got to start eating 12 eggs at the age of 13.
I wouldn't. I hear loads of people go about it differently, but for us, I think we were quite into the fitness stuff at an early age. So I think if he didn't do it, I think we would have done it ourselves anyway.
But then they said to me when they think about guests to get on the pod, we had some great Michael Johnson last week, Finn Russell, and then I was like, I want to get the Curry boys on, and people are like, great guests. Why are you so keen to get the Curry boys on? Because I've grown up in an identical twin house. As in, it's not quite grown up in an identical house, although I felt it was at the time. Because my mum and my aunt are identical twins. And they still peas in a pod. And I was fascinated to see how they're so similar, and they scrap and fight for each other on and off the golf course, on and off the bridge. When they're playing bridge, they have their moment. And yet, they've inspired each other to be the people they are. And I'm fascinated to know how that works in a professional environment for both of you to have your genetic self with you the whole time.
Well, I think it was pretty obvious, like early days, insofar as we were the only 2 in our year to be signed by Sale. So it's kind of like we were basically. It sounds quite bad, but we were basically forced to each other as well. So we had to do everything together. But when you got someone who's obviously identical, and he's lifting 5 kgs a bit heavier, it does stretch you to put that extra bit on the bar, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Who
I
lifts
tried
the
running.
5Ks heavier?
No, we're not getting into this. We're not getting into this. This isn't what this
No,
conversation
that's exactly
for.
what we are getting.
You could tell.
whole
You could tell
point.
who's lifting 5
No,
kgs
Ben,
more at the
no.
moment.
I'll answer this question, Ben. You be quiet. No. So Ben's upper body, I'm lower body. Ben can do more on uppers. I'm lows. So we're even. We're even.
But
No,
he had 9 months out, so
Yeah.
we just squatted for 9 months.
Right.
And he benched for 5 months, 9 months.
But was it like that growing up? Did you have a kind of, did you have notches on the wall as to who was leaping the highest? Or you must have done that together. You must have. I've got 2 older brothers. We're not twins, but we're always going against each other all the time to try and outdo each other. That must have been part of the.
Yeah, I think that 100%, especially when we were, I think just before we joined Sale, it's having that competition. And I think at the start of lockdown, I tried running by myself, and it's just not the same as having someone else competing with you. And I think, like I said, just before we joined Sale, having that competition, it drilled that competition mentality into you. So when you came into professional rugby, you were you had that mentality to always compete.
I think even as kids, though, we've definitely had garden cricket sessions that have spilled over.
Rugby matches.
Like kicking a football, whether it's rugby ball, obviously cricket. We invented our own game in the back garden. So we had loads of different things. So it's good as a kid growing up, not only having someone to play with, but like someone who's identical. It does make a massive difference because it does add the extra 5-10% because it's a bit more special, isn't it?
And in terms of the arguments, is there one of you that would pick the stumps up and run off and just sulk? Is there one of you that'll just start throwing punches?
No, I think we're both the latter.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, we've definitely had to abandon a few games.
Yeah. We'd lock each other out. The thing is, we know exactly what would wind each other up. So that's what makes it probably twice as worse, is like they do exactly the right thing or the wrong thing at the right time.
So Ben, you tell me what Tom's super strength and what his weakness is, and then Tom, you tell me what Ben's super strength and his weakness is. What is it that makes each other tick?
No pressure.
No, so with Tom, it's mainly his defence. So, when I played with him at Sale, it's his ability to put in a dominant tackle and then affect the breakdown after that tackle. I say that's his main strength. So like when we're doing the review, most of the time it's getting that dominant tackle and then really putting the other team under pressure at that breakdown, which obviously helps the defence around that. And then his weakness, I'll just pick
here we
one
go.
of them.
Oh, joke.
It's probably not the link play, but it's the support play off offloads and stuff. So I'd say he's good at linking. It's just if there was an offload, and
you're desperate to say. I know you're desperate to say he has hands like feet. Is what you're trying to say.
I'm just going to say I'm not the only person who'd say that at Sale.
Right, no, I'm just reading between the lines. He
had a few nicknames when he came back from his wrist injury.
I was wearing a big old plastic thing around my wrist.
He dropped his first session back.
Be Ben's coach now and say what's Ben? Sell Ben as a future international and a future Lion, and then say actually the reason he's not that now is what is it?
Sort of similar, like strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah,
it's quite weird. It's almost like the reverse for him, insofar as he's very good in his link play, hands, passing. Not just before contact, but afterwards. I think there was that try. Who's it against? Ben, you know the one where you pass it to Curtis to AJ.
Gloucester.
Yeah, Gloucester at home. And I think that kind of sums it up, being able to look up, not try and run at someone, but a bit of feet, hit a gap, and then get his 2 hands through to set up a try. So I think that kind of sums it up. And then probably it's kind of the opposite thing to what he said, as far as just that variation between, getting a strong chop tackle with a strong tackle up top. Because there's a difference between, lassoing someone around the legs and allowing them that extra roll on the ground, or properly, getting that chop to deck, they're down in a second or two. So yeah, probably around that sort of area.
If we go to the England thing, am I right in saying you were both on the Argentina tour in 2018?
Yeah.
And is my research wrong, Ben? Weren't you supposed to play for England? Not Tom?
No, that was that was the Barbars game where Tom got man of the match. To be fair to him,
and he wasn't supposed to play.
No, I had a back spasm in the week.
So it's amazing how it happens, isn't it? So and then from there, so if we then go back, so Tom's journey is pretty well documented. We've seen him go on and be a superstar. We saw Sale do a wonderful thing then. I know you jumped on a plane to go out and watch. Tell me about watching your brother play for England and what that does for you as never mind as a relative, as an identical twin, and how it's perhaps driving you to one day, I would imagine, be the dream 6-7 combo if Sam Underhill has a tight back.
No, it's massively proud, and especially as a family. You mentioned going out to Japan; it was an incredible experience. But like I said, we're a big rugby fan, so watching Tom is absolutely incredible. And from a personal perspective, it just motivates you to do that because it's someone who you've grown up with. So for me, it's just trying to emulate that, and not to the point where you're the exact same person, but you kind of know what you need to do. Like you know what he's being told. You can kind of see how he's developing. It's kind of it's quite interesting.
And how do you get away from the game? Because I imagine it could become a bit all-consuming. You're both training together, playing together, very similar positions, living together a lot of the time. What do you do to kind of switch off and shelve rugby so as it doesn't overwhelm you?
Yeah, that was probably my biggest work on our first two. I think we're going into our 5th season, so our first 2 years I literally didn't switch off. So we train, and then I'd come back, sleep, eat, then go to the gym again. Like we literally live a 3-minute walk away from the gym. So that's been my biggest work on, is how to switch off. So I started doing a uni degree. This lockdown, I've probably got a bit too much into Call of Duty. So I'll probably need to stop that pretty soon. But it's kind of like normal stuff, like going for coffees with lads. I think, like I said before, at Sale you want to build a sociable culture. So it's trying to get, especially with the young lads who are coming through. I say that as a 30-year-old, but like people in the Altrincham area, just trying to get them go for coffees and build that camaraderie.
His girlfriend keeps him pretty busy. He's pretty whipped.
Okay. Being kept in check. Nice to hear. Just going.
Sorry.
Going back. I just wanted to go back to something you were talking about before with Will about being at the World Cup, watching Tom run out there in the final. I mean, there must have been something in you, Ben, and you thought, you talk about the sliding doors moment of you having the back spasm with the Barbarians game and his trajectory being different to yours. Did you honestly not have a feeling at the time of thinking, gee, this could have been me? I mean, it probably will end up being you, before too long. But was it just pure pride for him, or was there any ounce of, gosh, if only things had gone a little bit different? Did you allow yourself?
I get what you mean. There was pride. There was that. Like, it would be cool. My feeling was it would be really cool if I was out there as well. I never thought it could have been me because you say spasm, but then what? And I get this quite a lot. Everyone's like, "Oh, you missed out because of that back spasm." But then it discredits Tom a lot when people are like, "That could have been you just because that back spasm." But what people seem to forget is he got man of the match in that game. He then had 2 years where he played very well, very consistently. And then he also got man of the match in the quarterfinal, and that's kind of like that's what people. When people say that doesn't really come to mind. It's not that could have been me. It's more like that would be cool if I.
Probably the world's most daft question, but I've always believed. Clive always said there's no such thing as a daft question. Do you understand the closeness of where it's going to be for the next 70 years? Are you in tune with that? Will it be strange when one of you gets married and moves out? Is it what? Just tell me. I've never really asked my mum. I should have done.
It's a bit early to be saying these sorts of things.
What's it like?
You can't be throwing marriage out there.
Yeah, especially Ben. He's been tied down for a while. He's very serious. You need to ask him about that.
Tom's trying.
So that whole thing is it? Does one of you pull a hamstring and the other one immediately goes Does one of you wake up and your brother ring up and say, "Are you okay? I can sense you've had a nightmare." There must be some. Give me something that this, because my mum and my aunt, they feel everything the other one feels, and I'm just trying to get into that. And has that ever shown itself on a rugby field?
I mean, we're both like doing the same sessions, so I imagine if we'll both be waking up, getting out of bed pretty sore tomorrow morning with this leg session we did this morning. But yeah, no, it's just the simple things like you kind of. Obviously, it's not a feeling. I'm not even going to pretend like you feel like what they're going to do, but you hang around with someone long enough that you know what they're going to kind of do, and you know how they react in certain situations and what they're probably going to be thinking. It's not a superpower, but it's just kind of what happens, isn't it, when you spend 22 years together? So yeah, no, on the pitch it definitely helps in different scenarios. I think that's shown, but yeah, there's definitely no magical cure that we can sell. Otherwise, we would have thought about it by now. Yeah.
Ben, you got anything to add on that?
No, to be fair, when you went away for a bit, we didn't play that, and then you came back, we played together. We didn't play that well together. It took us 2 or 3 games to get back into it, didn't it?
Yeah, true. All right.
Yeah.
Speak for yourself.
No, but it's really good. But it's like as soon as we had those 2 or 3 games, it just kind of clicked. But yeah, it's quite interesting. I think I played better with Tom. Well, I know I played better with Tom. Because it's also you just have that competitive drive on the field. I don't know if I knew the answer. But it's one of those things.
I've always been a massive believer that Billy, amazing. I mean, world class. Mako, amazing. Put them on the field together, and I genuinely feel you could put 13 pub players in a team with them at some time, and they'd win. I genuinely, I do feel as a pair of brothers, and I wondered if that was. So, and you feel that you would endorse that you bring the best out of each other.
Yeah, 100%. Especially in the back row. If you get that balance right with someone else with us, I think that would work really well. But yeah, it's about getting that balance in the back row first. But I think we do play better together.
And that's a moment you must both look forward to happening one day, playing together at Twickenham.
I've got a lot of hard work to get through before that.
Well, it'll be great. It'll be a great thing to see when it happens.
Yeah, no, it would be. You're right.